In 1975, Pepsi came out with their infamous Pepsi Challenge campaign. It was dubbed the Cola Wars, and as the campaign suggested, if given the preference of taste alone, people prefer Pepsi versus Coke. However, some suggest that the Pepsi Challenge was rigged. Some suggest that Pepsi took actions to make their product more desirable and therefore chosen more often than Coke. One claim was that Pepsi kept their beverage at refrigerator temperature. This made for an optimal drinking experience. However, when they served Coca-Cola, the claim is that they served it at 0 degrees, which was far too cold to consume it comfortably and not allow the natural flavors to come out. The second point people like to mention is that consumers were given a small sample of each beverage. And when tasting a small sample, generally people prefer a sweeter beverage. In response to this massive campaign in which Coca-Cola was getting crushed, they developed New Coke, which is a much sweeter version than their original formula. But sales were not good, and they couldn't understand why. Consumer backlash led Coca-Cola to abandon New Coke and retreat back to Coca-Cola Classic. So why didn't New Coke work? Coca-Cola discovered that in a small sample, the sweeter beverage is preferred, but an entire can of a sweet beverage is too much. So not only is this an interesting story in the history of marketing, but it also is an analogy that I like to use often. Sometimes when I get design work, we're just given a small sample on a PowerPoint of what a design could look like. And in a small sample, it looks fine. But if you extrapolate it into an entire website or entire brand identity, it might not be the same. The Cola Wars also serve as a cautionary tale to do your own research and not jump to conclusions.